Hello, my friends. I've got a little Christmas crafting for you today. I have been busy using up the last of some ideals pages that I was using during making Christmas journals this year, and I just had a few pages left from two very vintage, one very vintage and one very vintage ideals magazine. So let me show you what I did with the rest of the pages. This I just cut up the pages to make journal tags, journal cards, whatever you want to call them. But let me just show you some of the little pieces. Like this is I only have a couple of fussy cut pieces, but this is says the story of the nativity, and this was a little piece that was scrapped from a page. I just thought it was so pretty with the blue and white, so I have those together at the moment. That may become a journaling card. And then I have this little fussy cut of the wise men here. That came out cute. I did have this little, I cut this out as a little 1-inch circle. It's Mary and Jesus. And then here is a little word, Christmas past, that I cut out, just these words I thought I'd save and keep together. And then I cut out all of these pieces of pages. As you can probably guess that these two were together, but I wanted to make them, I wanted to make all of them small as I could, even though these are pretty tall. I wanted to make them as small as I could and make them into, cards that would go into journals. And so I'm going to back these on to cardstock in just a second. But I love this one because I just really basically kept this one for the blue and white and the blue lettering here, the words. To do something with, like this can be a background for something. And then here's the one very old one had a lot of these black and white kind of sepia colored pictures. So this one I tore. This one was so old that it just looked really good as a torn out piece. And then this one too was in that very old one. This is a picture of storybook characters, and it says down here Dickens 1870, so it's supposed to be like just a kind of a collage almost of storybook characters. And then there's a little poem, a bit of an angel, a church with a little poem up here, and this is a little stuffed toy elephant that someone made. This was in the one that wasn't as old. You can tell the difference between the paper and the coloring and everything. This one also was in that. It was very vintage, but it wasn't as old as the other one. Toy soldier. So cute. Little toy soldier. And then this one was in that one too. These little children with, visions of store. It looks like more like, not sugar plums. There's a candy cane there. But the rest are like Christmas tree. Kind of like visions of Christmas. There's a little baby doll, a sled, and an angel. So I think they're in a... if you were able to see the whole picture is there. I think their dad is telling them, Christmas stories, and that's what's going through their head. Oh, these aren't supposed to be here. These are supposed to be over there. So what I pulled out for the cardstock was, I have a scrap of craft cardstock here, and I have some red cardstock and some green cardstock. So I'm going to see what we can do, what looks good on what. But I'm not going to glue it all down on camera. I'm going to just show you what I'm doing because I want to sew around these two. So I'm thinking, if you've never combined light blue with red, it looks really pretty. Light blue looks really pretty on red. If you've never done that, it really does. So I'm thinking I'm going to glue this down on here, and maybe this light blue piece too. So, or maybe this will fit down here. So let's get to gluing. So since I'm sewing around them, I think, whoops, I'm reaching behind me for a glue stick. I think I'm going to use a glue stick. Let me find one. I have a bunch of, here's one. Yeah, I just want a regular, I don't need my permanent glue stick for this, I don't think, since I'm sewing around. I'm going to need my paper cutter in a minute. So I'll just do a couple pieces here and just show you what I'm doing. I've started cleaning up my Christmas stuff. I mean, barely. Barely started. I put some paper back in the like paper bin that I have that's 12 by 12. I put some paper back in that one. And, well, I have to put some more in there. See, I have stuck some on top of it too. And then I kind of organized another one that just has some, you know, all the bits and pieces for crafting. I think I'm going to combine this. This wasn't with this. This was a separate piece on the page. But I just think it looks really pretty on here. Let me grab my glue pad. Just realizing I might need that so I don't get glue on things I don't want glue on. But yeah, I did that as far as putting things away. Was that it? That was it so far. And I cleaned off little things, a few things off my desk here. So I think I have a long way to go. That's Christmas is the messiest crafting time, let me tell you. And it's every time I come in here in the last few days, or the last week actually, I'm like, oh man, I gotta clean this place up. It's really getting to me. So yeah, but I have a couple more little crafting videos I want to do, like this one, and I want to do something with some wrapping paper. So when I open up my Christmas crafting bins for next year, I will have a lot of things ready to go. I even found a book too. Where did I find it? I was looking for a book for someone that I want to give to someone for Christmas. It was a little golden book that I want to give to someone here. That's a friend that just mentioned something to me, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to find, you know. They didn't say they wanted this particular book or anything. It's just that they said something that made me think they would really enjoy this book, reading it to someone, a child that they have that comes over their house and reads another little golden book that they have. So I thought, oh, I have to give him this one too, because that child would love reading this one too. So I know it probably doesn't make sense, but I guess I can tell you, right? Doesn't mean I have to divulge who it is. But yeah, it's last year I gave someone Nurse Nancy, and I made it into a journal. Nurse Nancy, I gave it to them for Christmas. Let me get this cut here. So I gave them a Nurse Nancy journal for Christmas, and I just learned that it's being read. The story in the journal is being read by a little boy that comes over their house every day, and he comes over every day and he reads Nurse Nancy in the journal. And I don't even think I don't usually really keep the pages in order. I just kind of put the two pages. I might have kept them in order. You know what I did? I think I put that for that one. That's right, because that was for a person that never heard of junk journals. So I think I made 3 signatures, and so I put one signature in the front, one signature in the back, and the middle signature is the story book page. So I did keep them in order. That's right. I'm just now remembering that. I'm trying to get this straight here. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to cut this twice. So yeah, this little boy comes over their house and apparently reads the storybook part every day, or just about every day. I was like, oh, well, if you've ever looked at Nurse Nancy, it mentions Dr. Dan in it. And Dr. Dan is another little golden book story. So I was like, well, this little boy loves it's about some little boys too that get hurt and have to be doctored by Nurse Nancy and stuff like that. So that's probably why he likes it. It's about these little boys that get hurt. A lot of it is about these little boys. So anyway, I was like, oh, well, if he loves Nurse Nancy, he might like Dr. Dan, because Dr. Dan's even mentioned in Nurse Nancy. So he might just get the biggest kick out of that, oh, it's a story now about Dr. Dan. And, he'll have options other than just reading Nurse Nancy every day. So, yeah, I had to find that and then as I was looking for that, I was looking for this stack of little golden books. And I want to leave a little border here. I'm trying to make it the same, pretty much the same on both sides. So, yeah, so I was looking through this stack of little golden books. looking for Dr. Dan, and I found a Christmas storybook that I can put in my with my Christmas stuff that I can make into a journal next year. It's what is it called? Where did I put it? It's called like it's something about the little drummer boy, but it is not called the little drummer boy. It has a different something about a drummer boy though. It's a little cute, really cute little cover, and it's a little golden book. So I'll put that away. That's what I did last year. If I found a book about Christmas, I put it away with my Christmas stuff. And then I have the two book covers that I prepared, but I didn't make into journals this year. Frosty the Snowman and the Animals Christmas Eve. So those three will be on the agenda for next year as little golden book Christmas journals. And then some of those books that I found, the Southern Living, Christmas books, those are on the agenda for next year. All right, so there's another one. So you get the idea. I'm going to do something like this. And this I expect to put something else on. I don't know what yet, but so I might put it away like this, and then I'll do what I want to. I might cut it up into smaller pieces even. I don't know. I like it. I like it with the red though. Like it is. If I was going to cut it up into smaller pieces, I probably should have already done it so I'd have red around the smaller pieces. So I might leave it big like this and then just put a little something, fussy cut something on here. Or even just collage or something. So anyway, you get the idea. I'm going to do that with the rest of these pieces that I showed you. Pick a color, put it down, and maybe I'll go ahead and sew it, and then I'll just come back and show you the end result. But the point is to give you an idea of what you can do with if you have a few pages left of any magazine or book that you want to try to just go ahead and use up, cut it up, and put it on some cardstock. It can be a file folder, it can be whatever. I was grabbing my file folder and I was like, oh, let me use some red and green for Christmas, because I had this out already. And then I didn't even know I had any red, and I looked for red and there it was. And I love that cardstock, that craft cardstock too. So I'll be back in a few, and we'll see how these come out. Hi guys, I'm getting ready to sew, but I just came back because I wanted you to see if you would like to see how these look before sewing, and then you can see the difference that the sewing makes. So here's how they look with the cardstock, and you can see which cardstock I chose for what. These two pieces are on craft cardstock. The trees are not, they're like black and white picture, but I put them on green since they are trees. I thought that would be kind of like it almost makes the trees look like they are green, even though it's more of a black and white picture. And then here's that little green stuffed elephant toy, handmade, and I put that on green. And let's see what else I put on green. This one didn't look good on red because it's from the very vintage magazine, Ideals magazine, and so I put it on green, and then I also put the words Christmas Past that I showed you on the green cardstock. So, and I fussy cut around it kind of like to give it some shape. So I thought maybe I would sew around here and then add this to the top like this. I tried it on here without putting it on green cardstock, and of course it just got lost in the picture. So I thought, well, let me do that. I think that might look cute. I don't know. I like it up there. So, and I don't think I want to sew through it, so I think I'm going to glue it on after I sew it. And then here's the red cardstock. I put this little, you've got the bit of angel title in a kind of a burgundy, so that looks good on red. This one kind of had a pinkish hue to it, so of course that looks good on red. And this was the red toy soldier. Of course that looks good on red, and we did these two together. So I'm going to go sew, and we'll see what a difference the sewing makes. I'm going to use some gold colored thread because it's kind of a neutral thread, and I can use it on all these colors. And I already have that in my machine too, so I'm going to use that, and we'll see how these look when I get back. I'll be right back. Okay, my friends, I am back. Ooh, my back hurts after all that sewing. That took a while. Okay, so here's all the scraps I have left from that paper I wanted to show you. Nice scraps, but not very many left. That's good. And I did all the sewing. Let me show you. Let's look at the green ones first. And they all came out really nice. I used a big, large kind of zigzag stitch. Green, 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 green. Okay. So I'm going to try to show you so you can see the stitching. But here's the elephant, little toy elephant. Here's what they look like on the back. So super cute. These can be journaling cards. They can be pockets, tuck spots, any and all of the above. So you can call the long, narrow ones tags, or we could. But yeah, I really like the gold thread, especially on I like the gold thread on all of these. You know, it doesn't really stand out, but this one I did messy. There's a thread. Let me see. Yeah. This one I did messy stitching on because of the torn edges. I did one around twice and kind of did messy stitching, you know. Here's what it looks like on the back. Oh, let's go ahead and glue this on here. I still want to glue this on here, so let's do that right now. This Christmas Past, because this is about stories. It says, like I said, Dickens 1870. So I think, yeah, this came from that page. So I just put a little bit of glue, a Fabri-Tac there on the bottom. I'm going to glue it right up here. Kind of a little tag topper. And I think that's really cute. So it'll look cute in the appropriate journal next year. There we go. Yep, I like it. I like it. And then the 2 tree tags. Thank goodness I didn't run out of bobbin thread, and I got all around these without having to store my thread on my bobbin. But yeah, as you can see, it doesn't stand out a whole lot, but I like that, especially on these vintagey ones, you know, for it to kind of blend in, and it adds a nice little touch to it, but it doesn't overpower it. So here's the 2 craft colored ones. Also very vintagey looking with the craft colored cardstock, the gold thread, and the you know, the illustration itself. Very pretty. And the red ones. Now you can see it a little bit more on some of these, like on the white, of course. You can see the stitching there. And here's the little kids dreaming of visions of stories and toys in their head. Not sugar plums. And then here's the other toy soldier, the poem, and this one. After, I think when I paused again before I sewed, I don't think I did this I showed you this yet, but I took those 2 little fussy cut. Well, this was a fussy cut, and this was a 1-inch circle punch. And these were the wise men. So I thought it was really cool how this turned out. And I decided, you know how I said I wanted to glue something on here. I decided to go ahead and glue the wise men down here. And they're looking up at Mary and the baby Jesus. So isn't that cool how that worked out? I just really like that one too. So I like how they all turned out. All of these will go into my ephemera stash for Christmas next year. I used up all the rest of the magazine, Ideals magazine pages. I'm so happy about that. So I don't have to put those away in my storage. I just put these little pieces now away. I kind of did want to make some more book page. I have these little pages here from, I think they're from a Rudolph book. I'm not sure. But I don't have the cover. But I have these pages. I kind of would like to do the same thing with these, but that might have to wait till next year. But I do still want to do a wrapping paper video, so stay tuned for that. And I had got some new Christmas dies I haven't tried out yet. So 1 or 2 more Christmas videos. Stay tuned. Subscribe so you can be notified and hit that bell. That'll send you a notification if you hit the bell. And I'll see you in my next video. Merry Christmas and have a great day.